everyone, my name is Leo Flores. I'm a senior game designer at Chicago Wargaming Office. So we've been out for quite some time, and we're always trying to get as many new tanks as we can into the game. So we do have historians travel the world and get as much research as possible, and we try to find decent lines of tanks that we can find. So whenever there's currently existing tanks, we see if there's any variants. And so in this case, we already had a pretty good medium line. So we found a couple more tanks to fill out a nice sized heavy tank line. And so that new tank line begins at Tier 7 with the Carro de Assalto P88. It's kind of similar to other heavy tanks. Like there's no crazy auto reloaders, but it's dipping your toes in the water to get you prepared for what's coming next. And so after that, the rest of the line is all auto reloading tanks. And so this is to get you transition from medium tank to starting to feel how the heavy tanks are playing. So the first auto-reloading tank of the heavy tank line that you will encounter is at Tier 8, and it's the Progetto CC55 Mod 54. Now, similar to the Basante, it's one of the first heavy tanks, but unlike the Basante, it doesn't use spaced armor. So this one actually has a little more armor, it's a little more angled, but it's where you start really getting a feel of how these heavy tanks are going to play. So they're not exactly brawlers, but they do tons of damage, and they're more support tanks. So they'll have lots of firepower to help out the other teammates, and it's basically just how you start getting used to the new line, where it's not all about armor, but it's about getting used to your new shell damage. Then after that, you have the Progetto C50 Mod 66, which is actually my favorite tank of the line. It has much bigger guns, so you go from 105 to start seeing the 120mm guns, and on top of that, you don't have the crazy reload of the RINOCERONTE. The RINOCERONTE is awesome, but this has just a mix of, okay, you have a little more armor, you have a little more damage, and it just feels just right. Then after that, at Tier 10, you have the RINOCERONTE. It's kind of a crazy looking tank. It's very flat and low to the ground. The other heavy tanks are very short in stature compared to most other heavy tanks, but this one is heavily angled, and it's basically just a gun on wheels. So a lot of people should enjoy it, but be prepared for a big reload that puts out a lot of damage. So the RINOCERONTE skin, it's actually really cool. It's kind of like the Basante, where it's Roman inspired. Just looking at the thing, it's really cool. It's got lion symbols and there's arrows, and it basically feels like you're in Roman times almost, so it's really cool looking. So honestly, I'd probably go with, for equipment on these tanks, I would go for quick repair, vertical stabilizer to increase your accuracy, probably vents so the entire crew gets better skills, and probably follow that up with targeting, making sure you can see everyone outlines if they're hidden behind something. That's probably the loadout I'd go with. So honestly, everyone's going to want to have these tanks. They're going to do tons and tons of damage. If you guys make sure you manage your shells, keep an eye on targets, you guys are going to be taking everyone out. Don't try to be the hero, don't try to stay out in front. You know, be that supporting player and just take out everything that you see. And if there's a weakness, exploit it. So, you guys are going to love these things.